So, are you considering becoming a physician coach or consultant, but maybe you're still on the fence? Well, I want to share with you five of the most asked questions that I get asked on whether or not someone should become a physician coach or consultant. So, let's get started. Now, as the owner of physiciancoaches.com, which is the largest directory of physician coaches or consultants, I get a lot of questions about physician coaching. The first question I get by far is, how much can I make as a physician coach? Well, to best answer that question for you, it really depends on your niche. For example, I know coaches who are health coaches online that make up to $300,000 a year. Yes, I'm going to say it again, $300,000 a year. And that's because they're in a niche where people have a problem they want to solve, improve their health. So how much can you actually determine what the actual cost of that is, right? When people think about physician coaches, they often think of physician burnout coaches. And why is that? Well, because that is a problem that people are willing to pay a lot of money for. A lot of hospitals have seen a decline in their workforce, so they need to get physicians back into the workforce. So that's why there's a lot of demand for this. As an example, on the other side, maybe you are a coach who can help people with clutter. Now, there are some successful clutter coaches out there, but in my experience, it doesn't seem to be an area where there's a lot of need for it. Maybe they're taking a course, or they watch Marie. Maybe they're taking a course, maybe they're watching a documentary on Netflix about it, and they feel that's the best way to learn. So, to best answer that question, it depends. But if you have a problem that people are willing to solve and they're willing to pay money for it, then you've got a great foundation of becoming a successful physician coach. Number two, what specialty makes the best physician coaches? Answer, it really doesn't matter. I know pathologists who become physician money coaches. I know pediatricians who become real estate coaches. It has nothing to do with your specialty. I think it depends on the problem you're trying to solve, and why physicians often make great coaches or consultants, because most of us love to teach. We love to teach others, and it's just kind of an extension of our brain wanting to help others overcome their problems. I mean, that's what most of us went into medicine for, because we want to help other people. And that's why I always felt that physician coaching is probably the best business that you can start, because you can do this at any time. You can do this part-time, you can do this full-time, you can do this while traveling, you can do this online, you can do it in person. It really doesn't matter. So, to sum up, it doesn't matter what specialty. I've seen all different specialties, and all have become successful consultants and coaches. Number three, how much time does it take to become a physician coach? Well, it really depends on what niche that you're trying to do. There are certain certifications. For example, if you go into life coaching, you may or may not feel that you need to get some type of certification there. I do recommend coaching for free or low cost, so you have that experience. Just like as we were in the wards on third year medical school, they didn't, well, at least my medical school, but they didn't put you on the front line and do surgery the first day of third year rotations, right? Or at least I hope not. You want to get that experience, you get comfortable helping other people. And many coaches don't have any certification. They just base it on their experiences, their studying, the research that they've done. In terms of how much time does it take as being an active physician coach, as I mentioned in my last question, it really doesn't matter. You can do this part-time, you can do this full-time, you can do this in between your working hours as a physician. You can even put it on pause and say, I'm only going to do it during the winter or during the summer where I'm less busy. It really is up to you. What you can't replace, though, is the desire to want to become a physician coach. Once you decide to do this, I encourage you, just like as in anything, to give it the best that you can, because if you find a niche where there is a lot of need for it, you're going to find yourself really, really busy. Number four, what's the difference between a physician coach and a physician consultant? I tend to use those words interchangeably, but there are some specifications that people in the past have said that they make a distinction between a coach and a consultant. So One difference between coaching and consulting is that, according to one article I read, that coaching pulls out answers from the client while the consulting tells the client what to do. An easier way of saying this is like the consultant is like that hired gun, the expertise that are coming in, versus the client, versus the coach is the one who actually directs, just like as in a football coach or a sports coach, right? They're directing the team, they have the plays, and then the team has to execute. Another article said consultant brings in technical expertise to advise on solutions, while the coaching brings relationship expertise to support the client's solutions. Now, I tend to use coach, consultant, advisor, mentor interchangeably. That's just how it is for me. I've also noticed that, not to stereotype, but most women use coaches, and most men use the word consultants. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't think it really matters. If you want to just say you're there to help other people, then that's perfectly fine. Number 5, I see a lot of coaches. Is coaching too saturated? Now, when people ask me these questions, I often ask them, like, what type of, like, where are you getting that information in terms of saturation? And oftentimes, they belong to a lot of Facebook groups where there are a lot of coaches around there. And so they interact with those people. What I found out that in the grand scheme of things is that people who are actively on forums, let's say they're looking for non-clinical careers or doing side gigs, yeah, there's going to be a lot of those type of people in those forums. But in terms of like, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of like all physicians, that's a very small number. We've seen that the coaching and the consultant industry is increasingly just growing like leaps and bounds. And many of the coaches that I know who are doing one-on-one coaching are getting really busy. So that gives a lot of need for other people who want to enter into this space. I also see that there are other specific niches that are not being fulfilled, and maybe there's like 1 or 2 people doing it, and they're completely full in terms of their schedule. I think we're kind of in the beginning of this. We've seen it grow during COVID, and it's continuing to increase. And if it was saturated, as I said, one of the biggest types of coaches are burnout, and it doesn't seem that we're solving that problem in any time in the near future, although we know with burnout, research has shown that coaches are the best ones to take care of that problem, specifically physician coaches. Now, another question that I often get is, does physician coaches mean a physician who is a coach, or does it mean a physician coach who coaches physicians? Again, it's kind of semantics. I've seen it both ways. I encourage you to determine what you feel best that you can do, but really it doesn't matter to you. At our directory, we have coaches who coach physicians only, coaches who coach physicians and non-physicians, and it doesn't really matter. What matters at the end of the day is that they're getting fulfillment. They're in a position where they really feel that maybe for the first time that they're actively making a difference in someone's lives. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everyone should be a course. We found that the most people who are really successful at this, they love being a coach and they love what it's brought them in terms of their life. And if you're someone who is looking to want to get into that and want to dip your foot into it and want to learn more about how to do it, I encourage you to check out our course called ConsultingMD. It's been running for several years, and it is an on-demand course. It has 72 lessons because we continually upgrade it, and it's at your own pace. And it takes my 20 plus years, nearly 20 years of being a consultant on my own, a freelance coaching and consultant in the business market, and then helping you not only determine what are the top niches, determine what are the best ways that you can market, how to find new clients. And this is often stuff that people don't teach you. There are a lot of different certification courses, but very few teach you like how to actually create a successful business with this. If that's something that you're interested in, go to this special link, physiciancoachcourse.com, physiciancoachcourse.com, and I'll give you all of the details. Until then, this is Dr. Mike Wiming from Physician Coaches. As always, keep moving forward.